Wednesday, September 12th. Welcome back to Keep PounDENN. We are part of the Riot Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. And we'll be talking Panthers, Falcons, and the rest of Week 2 here tonight for the next half hour or so. Thanks for joining in. My name's Den. Alongside Chris tonight. Bobby's unfortunately not feeling well tonight, but hey, for those of you joining in tonight for the first time, be sure to subscribe to not only us here at Keep PounDENN, but also to our other Riot Network family podcasts. It is what it is, One Day Contract, and the Roaring Riot podcast. Finally, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Keep PounDENN. And Bobby and Chris are at Tacos and Slurpees and Peppa Jack NBB. The Atlanta Falcons are scheduled to host the Panthers Sunday, but before we get into it, for those of you in the path of this dangerous hurricane, Florence, please be safe, respect Mother Nature, and please take all the necessary precautions to evacuate yourself and your family if need be. At the end of the game, Chris, this is just a game, but let's get into it. What's going on, Chris?
Not much, man. Like you said, just getting prepared for Hurricane Florence here in Raleigh. So, yeah, just lots of exciting stuff on the docket for the rest of the week.
It's really changing, too, by the day. I mean...
by the hour, man. By the hour.
Obviously, hopefully we can get down to Atlanta, but if not, I think everyone understands. So,
as far as I know, Raleigh, RDU is shut down on Saturday. Because, like I said, I got a text message from Southwest. My flight had been canceled.
Wow.
And that was Saturday morning. So, can't imagine a lot of people from Raleigh are going to be making it down. And it looks like the way the storm shifted, Atlanta might see a pretty significant chunk of the storm. So, who knows at this point?
Yeah, and down there, of course, I'm up here in Boston, so I'll let you kind of open it up. I'm sure there's some shelters and places that people can look for help. Is there anything comes to mind off the top of your head as far as numbers or shelters and whatnot?
Yeah, the biggest thing, just depending on your county, some have shelters, some don't. But just dial 211 if you're in North Carolina. That's going to connect you to the emergency hotline. That'll let you know where you can go for shelter or what's the closest shelter to you, or just updates on what the storm's doing if you're totally disconnected at that point. So everybody stay safe out there. It's not worth, if you're down at the coast, got into an argument with a friend of mine who lives on Topsail Island who evacuated to Wilmington like an idiot, where they're expecting 30 inches of rain. And the house he evacuated to was about 100 yards from the river. So he finally got smart and got out of there tonight. But yeah, it's not worth it. No possession's worth your life. So just stay safe out there and make good decisions.
Totally. I mean, being up here in Boston, I've experienced hurricanes, but nothing on the level that you guys get. So,
here's a great way to put this in context for you guys, because you guys always get snow, right?
We do.
And we're, we're the guys that freak out over 2 inches. 20 inches of rain is the equivalent of 40 inches of snow.
Wow.
Or no, I'm sorry, 17 feet of snow.
Jeez, man.
17 feet of snow to 20 inches of rain. That's the same amount of water.
Yeah. And and like you said, it has shifted to Atlanta. But hey, for now, there is a game scheduled on Sunday. Yep. If they can play, great. We're actually going to kick it off. We're going to have a question that kind of lingers throughout the whole show, trying something new here. One of the biggest talks is about both of these rookies, DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley. Both didn't record a catch on Sunday. Moore had, I think, 3 rushing yards. But we want to know which rookie you think will have an impact on Sunday. Go ahead and smash the love button if you think it's DJ Moore, or that nice angry button if you think it will be Calvin Ridley. It'll be interesting to see how much they get involved in this game. But we'll get into that throughout the night. I'll go ahead and throw it up there while we have it. Again, smash that heart button for DJ Moore, or the angry button, the little angry man for Calvin Ridley. But hey, no Panthers week is official until you get some crazy news, Chris. And we really hit by not only the expected injuries, but the unexpected injuries. That, of course, being during the game, Darrell Williams now moved to IR. Panthers make a move today. They signed Chris Clark, 6'5", 305 pounds, from the Texans. He played 8 games in 2017. That he did have an injury that landed him on the IR, and he will now compete with Corey Robinson, who they just acquired from the Lions, and Amini Silatolu, who, again, Panthers fans have expressed their opinions of, but
just can't escape him.
So that's at least exciting because, hey, let's be honest. Say what you want about Amini. He's in a tough spot. they can't roll him out at right tackle, right? I mean, I don't care if you put Corey Robinson or Chris Clark out there and they just bomb. At least you tried something, right?
Right.
Or do you think Amini still gets that spot out
No, I think that he'll be the starter, but it remains to be seen how long they'll actually leave him out there. You know how Ron is; he just loves his veterans. But I wouldn't be shocked if he gets the start.
You said Chris, right? Or Amini? I'm sorry.
Amini.
Oh, Amini. Okay.
Start, yeah.
Okay. Because I saw that he is wearing number 74, Chris Clark, and he did talk about how excited he is to play and block for Cam Newton. Always kind of liked him. That's at least, promising signs, right? I mean, we'll take anything at this point, Chris.
Yeah,
right?
the unknown for us is better than the known. So I'll take it.
Of course, Atlanta on the other side of the ball, dealing with their own injuries. They have Keanu O'Neal and Deion Jones now to the IR. Deion Jones is a little surprising to me to go to the IR. I knew he was banged up. I wasn't sure that he was that banged up.
Well, if you remember, they said during the I don't remember from the Falcons game, so I fell asleep. But they said that they thought that he may even be able to come back in the game. Speaking of Neal, and then they were all shocked after the game when it was a torn ACL. So maybe they should have some really terrible orthopedic surgeons on the sideline over there.
Maybe. I don't know. And also, Devontae Freeman didn't practice today with a knee, although Dan Quinn did seem to think he was okay. And yeah, Bobby, we see you over there on the feed. Bobby wanted us to know that he's chatting with us on the feed.
Chaka, bro.
Via
Thinking
text.
about
What's up, man? We're
Stay
hoping
strong.
you get better. Yeah, Bobby had no voice, which doesn't really go over well in this whole podcast thing. So, again, though, for the Panthers, you got Darrell Williams, IR. Greg Olsen, of course, the IR. Trey Turner comes out on the injury report with a concussion today. Now, I know we talk about the whole alarm Brownlow sky is falling. That pretty much leaves Ryan Khalil before we start really panicking, right?
Man, I think we're already at as Ron said, positional catastrophe. I think we're already there. So
yeah,
at least we know we've got a pretty decent backup in Tyler Larson at center, which I'm guessing that it'll be him or Brandon Mann at that left guard or right guard spot come Sunday. But man, who knows?
Again, for you guys on Facebook, we do have the poll up there. Bigger impact on the game Sunday. Use those like and angry buttons to give the vote. It might be a little biased tonight, Chris, but I'll take that.
Hey, not mad at it.
And what's up to you guys on Instagram? I just popped on Instagram Live. They don't get the full feed. They just get an awkward picture of me. But what's up? If you are on Instagram, come over and join us on Facebook Live. We have me and Chris breaking it down. We're without Bobby tonight, unfortunately. But again, talking about this Atlanta game, hey, let's get into this matchup. Now, we're going to go through a few things here. We pretty much do the four topics of the week. If you do have, again, we can move that away. There we go. We'll keep the vote up there. Bigger impact on the right. But let's break it down. So, yeah, we're talking about the injuries right now. I think one of the biggest things that it was kind of weird today is there's no Curtis Samuel on the field, Chris.
Yeah, that was supposed to be
that?
A very, very minor emphasis on minor heart procedure. There's no such thing as a minor heart procedure.
There's not.
So I don't know, man. I think that we all, last season got that feeling about him. This was just how it was going to be. And then he had a really great camp in preseason. And then, of course, something had to happen. So who knows, man. I know we didn't make our true bold predictions, but I kept saying if we get anything out of Curtis Samuel this year, it's, a bonus. And
yeah,
here we are, week one, it's already out. Week two, who knows? Well,
the worrisome thing is Demir Bird also took a helmet to the knee, and both of them not practicing. I mean, the wide receiver group's getting a little thin, so maybe DJ Moore does need to play a role. Weird side note, I just got a text from my cousin who doesn't even know I do this stuff and said, "What's DJ Moore's deal?" So everyone's worried about DJ Moore.
He's a rookie, and it's week 2.
Here it comes right here. I drafted him, and I might drop him. So, hey, there you go. One thing that, and knock on wood here, Chris, is one bright side for the Panthers right now is the defense is intact, right? We have all these worries on offense, but really the way that the Panthers have won games a lot in the past has been, of course, the defense. I mean, as long as you have a Luke Kuechly, as long as you have that Shaq Thompson and that front line, we'll go on to our next subject here. When we talk about X factors, they, of course, are an X factor in this game. I mean, you can't leave this kind of new secondary out to dry. how much pressure can that defensive line get? And again, like I said, we might be pretty weak on the offensive side of the ball. They do have great ends coming around with our line, but as long as that defensive side's intact,
that's how we're going to win games.
I was going to say, how much do you think that matters in this game? As long as the defense can make stops, maybe even get some defensive turnovers, help out that offense.
If they can just keep the Falcons' red zone offense where the Falcons' red zone offense has been for the last few games, dating back to last season, I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah. Again, as far as X factors in this game, I did include Curtis Samuel in there. I hope that he can play this game. But one of the big things, hey, Ian Thomas, man. Of course, Greg Olson's out. Panthers aren't going to, I feel like they're not going to be able to use the position the same way. I mean, Ian Thomas is a great seam route runner, does have a lot of speed, but you saw in the first game, even in that first drive, even running screens with him, I think he can be a little more creative, and I do think you're going to have to get rid of the ball early. How much do you think the tight ends are a factor in this game, Chris? Especially Ian Thomas.
We see probably 6 to 8 total targets for those tight ends. I mean, you remember when we went to, I already forgot his name, the Ed Dixon plan last year. They didn't slow down the targets on him. They knew the offense was going to leave the tight end a little open because that was a question mark. So maybe we see the same thing this year. It's an unknown 4th-round rookie. Why not?
Yeah. Let's kind of chugging through these here. Get through this here quick. We're going to go through our NFL Week 2 picks as well. And again, hey, what's up to you guys on Instagram? This is awkward. It's just a weird photo of me. But I'm just doing this to have you guys come on Facebook with us. We're having fun here on the Riot Report Facebook. So, hey, Chris, let's talk about the game plan. As far as both teams, I mean, obviously, you got to slow down the pass rush, right?
Right.
You think this is a pretty draw and heavy screen game for the Panthers offense? Or how do you attack this when you're just in that much shambles, not only receivers, tight end, and your O-line?
Man, well, to be fair, they're hurting on their side of the ball as well. So, I mean, Deion Jones is, I know he's a Falcon and we're not supposed to like him, but he's probably one of the top 6 or 7, maybe 4 or 5 linebackers in the game. And he's a different breed, man. And he's got the potential to be one of those next big guys coming up. So him not being there is probably just about as close to the equivalent as you can come as Luke Kuechly not being there for us. So I think that definitely alters their game plan a little bit. Maybe, for us, the heart of our line is still in pretty good shape. So maybe we're running up the middle a little bit more. Maybe we don't think they have as much speed from their linebackers because he's out. And the same thing with Neal. We can run those screen passes. We can run those draw plays. So I think that we're going to exploit their defense as much as they're going to allow us to. I think that's going to be the plan.
Yeah, and one thing about the Falcons last year, granted this is with Neal and Jones in the offense, they were in the top 12 in both run and pass defense last year. So you can't really get one-dimensional. It's not like, okay, well, we can run all of this team. You do have to do both decently well to beat the Falcons, I think.
Right.
And we'll see. I mean, and then again, down the red zone's kind of big because, as we know, the Falcons have some trouble scoring in the red zone, and they're also very prone to being dunked on in the end zone, if you remember that.
Yeah.
So
never forget.
I think red zones will play a big role in this game. And like I said, my brother makes that joke where the Falcons and the Panthers are different complete opposite teams, where they have no problem getting to the red zone but can't score, where the Panthers struggle to get down there, but once they're down there, you feel a little more comfortable about it. As long as you don't give Christian McCaffrey the ball on the goal line, right?
Fluke, man. It was a total fluke.
That was a fluke. Sorry, CMC. But no, I still, I do want to talk about that for a second because, and I don't know, maybe it's just because they want to kind of trick teams, but when you have people like Alex Arma, even Ian Thomas down there, CJ Anderson and Cam Newton, why are you running Christian in the eye? Dude,
because Alex Arma, he looked surprised when he got the ball. He's your best running back. He's your best playmaker. I'm not going to question that play call. I mean, they'd been running up between the tackles just fine leading up to that. So I'm not going to question that one at all.
Yeah.
But I'd rather them give the ball to Christian McCaffrey on the 7-yard line than to give it to Alex Arma on the 7-yard line.
I think they want to get linebackers moving a little more lateral, and they kind of tried to trick them by going in the middle. So
Right.
Again, hey, you guys on Instagram, just coming on here, say what's up. We're on Facebook Live on the Riot Report right now. We have the full screen. We get the graphics, and Instagram doesn't let me do that. So you just get my dumb face unfiltered, you know? But hey, let's hop to our last one here. We like to do this every week. A lot of bulletin board material going around this week, Chris.
Plenty of it.
There's of course the power rankings, and see how low the Panthers can go, while other teams that lost can hop above them. That's fine. But let's check what we get this week. I found a fun one from our friends. They're not really our friends over at the Falcoholic. You might have heard of them. They're kind of a Riot Report-esque for the Atlanta Falcons. So those poor guys, they have a tough time over there. It might suck to have to write about the Falcons all day. But they did take a shot.
Prayers.
They did take a shot over here at the Panthers. Hey, the Panthers won't have Greg Olsen at tight end, and their offensive line is a series of anthills of varying height and density. Granted, touche. It's not a bad joke.
First off, we're not anthills. We're speed bumps. Get it right, guys.
That is right. So, yeah. So, if I'm Ron Rivera, I'm throwing that up to people like Brandon Mann and Chris Clark now and Corey Robinson, Amini Silitolu. This is what they're saying. Go prove them wrong. So, we'll throw that up on our bulletin board. It's filling up pretty quickly here. I didn't realize we'd have... we might need a couple bulletin boards, Chris. So, we'll see what we get here. But that's our bulletin board material here, thanks to the Falcoholic. And hey, that's our breakdown of this week's Atlanta game. Let's go to some of you guys in the comments here. Lynn, what's up, Lynn? Always joining us here. Oh, great question. Whoops, let's pull that down a little bit. Hey, you think that Amini got an earful for his blocking of the field goal there?
I doubt it. if they've got plenty of stuff to give him an earful over, and I made the joke. I thought that was a little point shaving there. I mean, he had money on the game, but I mean, he's a veteran. He knows what he's supposed to do, and it should have been a penalty on us anyway for a false start. But that's how bad the refs feel. They just didn't want to even give us that call.
Yeah. Again, don't forget our poll of the night here: bigger impact, DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley on Sunday. And hey, again to those of you on Instagram, what's up? Hop on over on the Facebook at the Riot Report, or even at Keep PounDEN, whichever one you want. We've put it on both. How's that? So, yeah, Bobby's on with us since he can't talk. Let's throw a Bobby comment up there. Bobby says Amini will start, but he won't finish the game. That might happen. That might actually happen. But my point is, you can't start Amini at right guard, right? You think he can, Chris?
I think that he'll start him at right tackle.
I mean, sorry,
right
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Right tackle. Sorry, right tackle.
Why wouldn't he?
Because
I know why he wouldn't, but what's going to stop Ron from doing it? We know how he feels about.
I do know how he feels, but you also have to look at the Cowboys game. The minute he comes in for Williams, I think 3 out of 4 plays, his man was just in Cam Newton's face mask.
Well, hey, we'll do the math on that. 25% of the time, he did his job. Pretty good.
You are a statistics guy. That's nice of you.
Sabermetrics, guys.
Oh man. Hey, let's. Before I want to do that, I do want to give a shout out to. Actually, you know what? Let's find one more comment here. I'm sorry. We'll throw in. We did have. So speaking of our vote up the top right there, we do have the like button or the angry button for DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley. But we do have some comments in here. Terry thinks DJ by far will have he didn't write it, but I'm just adding that in, that he'll have a bigger impact on the game. Let's talk about that for a quick second, Chris. As far as these two receivers, and the way that this is kind of coming into this game, the Panthers are kind of beat up in the wide receivers already. If Curtis Samuel and Damiere Byrd can't play, well, I wouldn't call Curtis Samuel the bottom of the depth chart.
Well, did either one of those guys take a snap on offense this week?
Byrd returned some punts.
Is that a snap on offense?
No, but what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. DJ Moore's role increases as these guys.
For sure.
As they change.
I don't think that Damiere Byrd made the team if they didn't know in advance there was something wrong with Curtis Samuel. Mm-hmm. And my knock on him the whole time was what we're already dealing with. He's made of glass.
Yeah.
He's 110 pounds soaking wet, and it's tough for him to take hits.
There you go.
Well, not a knock on him. He's a good football player. I don't need South Carolina fans all up in my mentions. And I like him, but
if you had to pick, there we go. If you had to pick, who you think actually has a bigger impact on this game? They both had no catches last week. Do either of them have an impact on the game?
One of them at least got to play snaps on offense. So I think DJ Moore
was Calvin was Calvin not in there?
I don't think he got any. I know he didn't get any targets. He may have gotten some snaps, but he definitely didn't get any targets.
Okay. Here's one more final stat.
And sorry, I was comparing Bird and DJ Moore there.
Oh, okay.
We got going down that alley, but yeah, Calvin Ridley was such a luxury pick for the Falcons. They don't need him.
Oh, there
he's basically getting a redshirt year.
It does scare you though when they start rolling out him in addition to Julio Jones, who basically will catch 96% of their passes if we go by week 1 stats. And then you have Sanu and then Calvin Ridley. I think that's what everyone expected. Maybe they're holding back. I don't know. If
you want to go deep on the sabermetrics again, I mean, based on week 1 stats, Atlanta's going to lose all 16 games this year. So,
well, hey, what about DJ then as more of a runner? Do you think that works into the Panthers offense this week, especially without missing, offensive pieces?
I was texting back and forth with our new best friend Connor Orr earlier this week, and he asked me what I thought, and I told him this. I said, I think that the Panthers actually held some stuff back on offense. I think that just like last
every year, though, right?
But it's pretty accurate, though. Last year going into San Francisco week 1 and then Buffalo week 2, we knew our defense could win those games, and so I think that on the front end, they're a little more conservative. Now, Alex Arma did get a carry. That's craziness, right? In this offense for us.
1 carry, I believe, for a touchdown. His first carry.
Yeah, I mean, so sabermetrics, every carry he has is a touchdown.
And the last person that did that was Richie Brockle, I believe.
Was that a carry or was that a
last annexation Panther, of Puerto Rico? It was, they said
1 for 1. Yeah.
Yep.
So I still think they've got some more stuff to show, but they're easing everybody in. The offensive line again in shambles. Then you got to go with your backup tight end and then the third stringer who also missed all of training camp last year with Manhurts. There's still a lot going on here. So I still think they can open it up, but I don't think they opened it up as much as they could this week.
All right, fair enough. And for those of you guys, again, on Instagram, a lot of them are wondering what's going on, but because I'm talking about these graphics. Can't broadcast to Instagram yet besides the little camera on your phone, but what's going on, guys? And hop on over to Facebook on the Riot Report or Keep PounDEN, where you can kind of see the full show here. So, hey, let's all hop over to some NFL picks, huh, Chris? You had a pretty good week.
Yeah, I mean, 12-4 is okay. I mean, I can do better, but...
So here we go. 12-4 for Chris. I put a lot of faith, I said, into Steve Wilkes. I don't know why. Bobby will yell at me for that. But I really thought that Arizona was going to have a better team this year. They didn't show it, at least in week 1.
Who's their starting quarterback again?
That was Bradford, I believe, in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe it's Rosentime over there. But you had a pretty good week. I don't have the early picks here. At least I don't think I do. No. But you did pick Tampa Bay over New Orleans, which now not over them, but to cover the spread. And looking back on it now, 10-point divisional game. I don't know. I just thought the Saints would just wipe the floor with them.
Hey, man, hindsight's 50-50.
And yeah, Bobby, let me get your picks tonight so that don't do them in the in the comments. You can do a few, but just send me a text. But we'll get Bobby's in there. But yeah, 10-6 for me. Usually I'm dominating by now, but I'll get there by week 3. 7-9 for Bobby.
All that mirrors and excuses.
Bobby took a lot of gambles last week. We'll give him that one. He wouldn't listen to us on Pittsburgh and Cleveland. We all said to pick Cleveland. So.
And I'd like to point out how perfectly I called that. I said I think they can cover, but I'm not sure they can win.
Before we get into the picks, though, I do want to let you guys know over on Ortho Carolina's website, there is an awesome interview, which is kind of ironic for the timing, with team head physician Dr. Pat Connor. He kind of talks about just some things you might not think of with football, just how a sprained ankle in football is 10 times worse than you spraining your ankle in the house. And that's why some of those injuries take a little longer to heal. So, I don't know, check that out, Ortho Carolina website, orthocarolina.com. And it's Dr. Pat Connor, the head team physician. So, pretty cool stuff over there. But let's do this, Chris. Let's get into our week 2 picks. If I can find my damn sheet. Oh, there it is. Here we go. We're going to throw on the NFL picks music. We haven't had that in a while. You might not be able to hear it, but the people online should be able to hear it in the background a little bit.
I hear it in my heart.
There you go. Hey, let's start it off. These are against the spread again, by the way. We'll kick it off with you since you have the honors. We'll play the golf rules here. Thursday night, tomorrow night, Baltimore is at Cincinnati. Baltimore putting up a huge game against the Bills. They're minus 1.5 in this game, Chris. At Cincinnati, who you got?
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Wow.
I think that division's wide open. I think that Baltimore beat the hell out of a pretty good Division II team in Buffalo. I just don't think they had, much going against them last week, but I think they get a little bit of reality check this week.
Okay. I'm going to go the other way. I liked what I saw out of Baltimore. I know that people put Cincinnati down the bottom of the league. Baltimore basically just has to win this game. I'll take them. How's that?
Do it.
Next game on my sheet is Carolina, but as you know, we always do that last. Yeah, Bobby, I forgot the music last week. Sorry, my bad. We're getting used to this live stuff. Bobby's always yelling at me, even when he's not here.
Even when he has no voice.
Yeah, hey, in Indy at Washington, Andrew Luck, not a terrible start besides throwing a pick on his first throwback.
So that's, by definition, the worst start you could have, right?
I mean, the worst start you could have is a pick six, which would be the Sam Darnold, who then had an unbelievable
game. He made up for it. Yeah, he made up for it.
Yeah, right. So what do you got? Indy's. Sorry, I didn't give you any information. Indy is at Washington. Washington's minus 5.5 at home.
I will still take the R words.
Yeah, I didn't hate what I saw out of Indy.
No defense.
You're right.
No.
I didn't hate what I saw out of Indy, but I am going to go Washington with you there.
I'll even go a step further. I think that Adrian Peterson has 100 yards rushing this week.
Shout out to AP. Everyone always counts him out. Kind of cool. And hey, what's up, guys, on Instagram, by the way? We're just throwing this live out there. We are really live on Facebook on the Riot Report and on Keep PounDEN. You can see the graphics. You can see all of our faces, well, both of our faces. But we're just using this to kind of wrangle some folks over. And some people don't know that some people don't have Facebook, Chris, like you.
Yeah, good for them. No collusion.
Hey, Houston is at Tennessee. I don't know. I'll chalk up Tennessee playing a 35-hour game. I know Mariota kind of got banged up. Do you know the status of him right now?
He is also made of glass and not as good as advertised.
There you go.
So it pretty much sums it up. So I'll take Houston.
Yeah. Hey, Deshaun Watson. I pretty much hated everything that he did. Being here in New England, watching that game. That defense, if you're on that Texans defense Sunday, I mean, you pretty much shut down the Patriots, like, their first few drives. The touchdown to Gronk was really the only successful play they had, which when you're down in the red zone and you throw to Gronk, that'll happen more often than not. But
that works out. Not like the Falcons red zone.
Yeah. I do like Tennessee, but I think Houston bounces back here as well. You picked Houston, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Philly at the Fitzmagic Tampa Bay Bucks. Are they a one and done, Chris?
I think they're absolutely a one and done. But I still think this game, I think this point spread is pretty perfect for this game, but I still think I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah. It's 3.5. I think they can win
that pass rush is significantly better than what New Orleans is.
And also, is it Hargrave or Hargrove is out for the...
both. Both the corners are out. Hargraves and who's the other one? Grimes?
Yeah, IR for Hargraves. So we'll take Philly out. And no Wentz, but I'm okay with it. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, and I saw it happen. So, hey, Kansas City is at the what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. No Le'Veon Bell, it looks like, in this game as well.
Yeah, that dude ain't showing up till week 10. So.
And Pittsburgh's minus 5.5.
Coming off a 6 turnover game.
Yeah, I'll take this one. Kansas City, I think, is one of the better teams in the AFC. Connor Orr, of course, picking them to play the Panthers and lose to the Panthers in the Super Bowl. And I thought they looked pretty good week 1, Chris. Did the Steelers bounce back or what?
I do not think they will, and I am taking the Chiefs.
The Dolphins turned some heads, kind of, when they won that 35-hour game.
Yeah. But like you said, it was a 35-hour game.
But they play another team that probably turned some more heads, or definitely turned more heads in the New York Jets with Sam Darnold. We talked about his pick six. The minute that happened, of course, all my Patriots friends text me about how bad the Jets are, and that's why you watch a whole football game before you start sending texts. Yep. 31 points in the third quarter. I kind of feel bad for Matt Patricia because he's not out there throwing picks, but that team's already kind of not feeling him. Chris, go ahead. I'll let you take this one. I think you're going to go Jets. I'm going to go Jets.
I'm going Jets. I watched most of the game, and not only on offense, but they looked really good on defense too. They've got a lot of young players. So I like what the Jets are building. They may be ready to contend in 4, maybe as little as 5 years once Brady dies.
Yeah. And for those of you guys, again, either on Instagram, come join us over on Facebook Live. We're on the Riot Report and Keep PounDEN. And on Facebook, we still want to know, bigger impact on Sunday. DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley, make sure you use that like or angry button. And I think you got to hold it to pick the heart and the angry man. So just in case you need to know how to do that, let us know what you think. And we'll kind of give our final answer in the end. Chargers are at Buffalo. And after week 1, Kelvin Benjamin still can't run a slant.
Just
with Josh Allen, he might be able to. Who knows? What do you think about this one? He probably definitely won't be able to. But what do you think? The Chargers at Buffalo. Chargers are -7.5 coming off a tough divisional game.
I think it should be more like -17.5. And even if it was -17.5, I would still take the Chargers.
Not a big Josh Allen fan.
Well, he's my cousin, and he's a bit of a dick. He never calls. He's not my cousin. But no, I just think the Buffalo's that bad across the board.
Yeah.
I think it's just that simple. I think Buffalo they did everything in their power to not make the playoffs last year. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott are not going to be fired anytime soon based on the outcome of this year. They went into a full rebuild and then still somehow backed their way into the playoffs in a super weak AFC last year. This year, they're making sure that they're drafting at the top.
Yeah, thanks to Andy Dalton, by the way.
Yeah.
It was cool how they gave to his charity. Yeah, I didn't hate that.
Yeah, I saw something about that on the network tonight.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Big game last Sunday night. We were on at halftime. You didn't join us, Chris, because you were at the Panthers game. But that Green Bay Chicago game was a big one, and they have a big challenge here in Minnesota. It's at Green Bay. It's basically a pick, half-point spread, given Green Bay -5. Minus a half a point. Sorry. And a pick on Minnesota at Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers kind of all drugged up in that interview. What do you think?
I think he probably takes a lot of lewds. There's nothing wrong with luding out these days. But that being said, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings.
Chris, me and you are we're picking the same here. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think that Green Bay was. I don't know. You know what? Actually, I shouldn't say that because I did pick Green Bay to win the Super Bowl. I just don't know where Aaron Rodgers is right now, and I think just
on cloud 9, baby.
I think that if this game is in Green Bay and late in the season, I would pick Green Bay. But being week 2 in September, I think Minnesota has a chance to steal one here. I'll go the Vikings. And again, hey, what's up to you guys on Instagram? Sorry I keep saying that. They're just kind of confused over there. Come over on Facebook Live. We're on at the Riot Report or at Keep PounDEN, and you can see the full board here when we get the graphics. So just want to say, hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Cleveland, coming off their big almost win. The fridge is almost opened, Chris. They almost opened. And they are at New Orleans, though. Do you think the Browns can do us a favor this week? What do you think?
I don't know that they can win, but I think they can cover the spread.
Okay. Again, you're taking a team that's getting 8.5 points, but not a divisional game.
No, but going back to my sabermetrics, New Orleans has started the last 5 seasons in a row 0-2.
Wow.
Why not make it 6?
Okay. You're going to take Cleveland. I'm sorry. I can't take New Orleans to drop 2 of these in a row. Cleveland's probably coming off their high horse, by the way, which over one of the biggest non-losses of their career. I think that they were big, up for that game. I think that this game's going to sneak up on them quick. And I think that New Orleans gets back on track, unfortunately. And they can win this game by 10 or more. So there's a split for us. Hey, the Detroit Lions, the dumpster fire of the NFL right now, I would say, right? Or would that be the Bills? Well,
yeah,
Bills, hold on.
Bills
Actually, let me
100%.
rephrase that. Who's the worst team that isn't supposed to be bad? Or at least they weren't supposed to be bad week 1. Because we knew the Bills were going to be bad.
Yeah,
I didn't think that Detroit would be that bad. And I actually wish the Saints just lost like 55 to like 7. And they didn't come back,
sweet. I'd say, maybe the Cardinals or the Lions. Yeah. Cards or Lions.
Yeah, exactly. And they're the next 2 teams here. But yeah, Detroit's at San Francisco. Jimmy G didn't look terrible.
Well, he's human after all. That's new. I had no idea.
I do think he's overrated. No, well, not overrated, but I don't want to say that word. But I do think that once you give some teams again some time with him, they'll figure it out and he'll kind of come back down to earth. I guess that's what overrated is, right?
And he's human.
Yeah, I'll take them here though. I'm gonna take San Fran. Did you take San Fran?
I did as well.
Okay. All right, Arizona. These are the ones you got to be careful of, as you taught me last week. Divisional games shouldn't be more than 9 points. This one's 12.5. The Rams, a lot of people calling them the best team in football. They're hosting Arizona, who I just don't know how long it goes before they bring Josh Rosen in, right?
Yeah, you got to think that another embarrassing loss, there's no reason not to bring him in.
Yeah. So, hey, they're at the Rams. Can the Rams cover 12.5 at home?
I'm taking them. I think they can.
This is dumb, but it's just a lot of points for a divisional game. I don't, you've seen the Patriots lose to the Dolphins, who have been in the bottom, and the cellar dwellers. Teams just know how to play each other. I think that they can cover 12.5 points. Give me. I'm going to stand here and say that the Arizona Cardinals will not beat the LA Rams, but 12.5 in a divisional game, it's hard, man. It's hard. You showed me last week, Chris, even with a backup quarterback.
Just gotta believe, man.
Sam Bradford can get things done. If you have Sam Bradford and Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson and Steve Wilkes can hit some of those blitzes.
Everybody whose name is injured.
Right. But are they not playing in week 2?
I think Johnson's might be out.
I'm sorry. But Fitzgerald is.
Yeah, but he's just 200 years old, man.
Anyway, if you have Steve Wilkes, he can hit on some of those blitzes. Whatever. I'm taking them to cover. Hey, New England at Jacksonville. It's supposed to be a really good game. I don't know if Fournette's playing. Do you know our status on Fournette?
I haven't seen that either.
Okay. I've just watched too many of these games. Whenever it's a big game and the Patriots are supposed to lose, they win by 1,000. So I'm going to take them here. What do you got, Pats at Jacksonville?
I've got the Jaguars. I think that this is their
Jaguars
Super Bowl.
win.
I think this is their Super Bowl. I shouldn't say that. They're in a cupcake division. I think that this is a game that they get up for because they know they got screwed last year. Mm-hmm. So I think they go big.
A few more on the slate here. Oakland, who played a great first quarter, they're at Denver. Keenum had a pretty good game in Denver. But I think that Oakland bounces back here. They're getting 5.5 on the road in Denver. John Gruden's going to be pissed. He probably wishes he had someone that could rush the quarterback. But
it'd be nice.
Oakland at plus 5.5 at Denver. What do you got?
I'm taking the Broncos.
A lot of Splitsville is happening here, Chris.
Well, I got to separate myself from the crowd, so.
Hey, the New York Giants, who hilariously were calling themselves America's team because they wear red, white, and blue. Apparently haven't heard of the Patriots. There's no way that the Giants are America's team, but they're playing the America's team, quote, quote, the 0-1 Dallas Cowboys. Always a divisional nice matchup here on Sunday night. Giants at Dallas. We saw what we got from Dallas. Do they bounce back? And they're minus 3.5 here against the Giants. What do you got, Chris?
I will take Los Gigantes de Nuevo Yorko.
Yeah, I was just gonna do the same thing. I think that the Giants.
But what are you gonna do in Spanish?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
I was actually gonna do it in French.
I wrote it down like that. So
the Giants, saw Barkley getting in the end zone. I don't know. I think they have enough pieces to beat Dallas. Dallas is really, if you can just shut down that run. I don't know if the Giants can do it, but they're getting 3.5 on the road. I'll take them in this game as well. Seattle at Chicago. The Chicago almost we beat the Packers Bears, but with Khalil Mack against that Seattle line, I think Khalil Mack eats in this game. We'll rotate it. I'm picking here. I'm going to take Chicago. I think they bounce back. They are coming off a big divisional game. They get an extra day for it, kind of, few hours. But I think Chicago will win this. Trubisky, I think, has had a great game. Really tough loss for them, and Mack is just a beast, and I think he'll feast on Russell Wilson.
I'm taking the Bears as well, but I got to give a shout out last week to our man's Brandon Marshall catching a touchdown last week for the Seahawks.
Wow.
Totally forgot he was still in the league, and he caught a touchdown last week.
I always wanted Brandon Marshall on the Panthers when he was like,
when he was
younger,
peak headache and dominating and getting traded every 3 years. Yeah.
Hey, the last game, before we pick this last game, I do want to throw it out one more time. Bigger impact. We're throwing out the poll out there. We want to know what you guys think. Who's going to have a bigger impact on Sunday? DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley? Got some comments here that the Panthers in the long run will get more from DJ Moore than Atlanta will from Calvin Ridley in the long run. He thinks they took him too high. Good way to look at it. So again, smash the love button or the angry button, and we'll hit the last game here. It is Carolina at Atlanta. The spread I have on my sheet right now is 5.5. Atlanta's favored by -5.5 here, and I think that's decent as far as betting goes. But I'll go first, Chris, because I don't want to make it look like I threw you into the bus. I don't know. I'm nervous of this game. I think that this, rolling into Atlanta with a healthy team is scary enough. If this game was less than, now that I look at it, if this game was less than a field goal, I'd probably pick Atlanta. I'm going to pick Carolina to cover. I don't know if they win this game. I actually think that they'll probably lose by 4 or 3. Sorry. I'm just being honest. Chris, what do you got? We're fired now. We're free. We're a free agent podcast.
Not only am I taking them to cover the spread, but this is my, get your free money pick of the week.
Yeah.
Stone cold lead pipe lock of the century of the week. I think we win this game.
Bobby said I'm scared to pick. Bobby, I kind of did the easy way out. I picked Atlanta to win the game, but every time you see these games, I mean, honestly, when do they come down to more than a touchdown, right?
It's a house of horrors for us over there.
So if you're getting 5.5, I mean, if you look at kind of the last 5 or 6 games, I don't know the exact scores, but I'm willing to bet most of them are under that. So I'll pick Carolina to keep this under 6. And I do think Atlanta, I don't know. If I was betting, I would pick Atlanta to win the game, but I just really hope they don't. Sorry. Again, free agent podcast. I think we just got fired from the Riot Report. Chris, did you pick Carolina?
I did pick Carolina to win.
Win the game. Wow. Well, there you go. There's our NFL picks. We'll throw those up in a nice little graphic, and we'll see if I can come back, and if Bobby can come back. More importantly, again, those are our standings right now. 10-6. Chris is at 12-4 in the lead, and Bobby's at 7-9. Bobby, you got to turn this around, my man. What's going on? And those are the picks. So hey, we're gonna wrap it up here, but I do just want to go ahead and put out our topic here. It did look like, I mean, again, this was probably kind of a homer way to do it, but a bigger impact on the game, DJ Moore or Calvin Ridley. We got 35 hearts for DJ Moore and 3 angry faces for CalvinRidley. So I don't know, maybe we'll ask the Falcons fans and we'll average the 2, and that that'll be that. So hey, we're gonna sign off. Hopefully, again, for those of you guys that are in the direct path of Hurricane Florence, please be safe. I'll be thinking about you up here if I can get to the game in Atlanta. Hopefully, if you guys are going down there and we are able to make the trip and are able to see a football game, come say hi. We can hang out. I'm gonna be there all weekend. Hopefully, if the weather allows me to. So maybe you too, Chris, right? Or did your flights already get canceled?
Yeah, my flights of everything out of RDU's been canceled on Saturday.
There you go.
So I am out.
I'm not. I know it's pretty unlikely that I'll be down there, but either way, we will be at a lot of the other away games. The next one would be in Washington D.C., so we can hang out with the Riot there. But Chris, man, I'll talk to you. Please be safe. and all that, and hopefully the storm will pass, and the storm, not only the storm but also the Panthers injury storm, and we'll get back on track here. How's that? And Bobby, we'll have you back next week, right? Chris, you still there?
Yeah, I was waiting for Bobby. You asked Bobby, so I didn't.
Well, well, Bobby can't talk to us, but anyway.
No, I know, but I thought you would read his response.
He'll get it in a second. We get a little tape delay here, but hey, we'll talk to you guys next week, and hey, from now until then, I can't even talk anymore, Chris. You
it's
guys,
overrated.
Yeah, you guys keep pounding. Have a good night.
Stay safe out there, guys.